He said easy work, easy money. Do you
Don't
agree?
worry about what there's no easy fight. There's no easy fight.
Why is he saying this? Why is he saying this? He said easy money.
He believes in me.
Yeah,
he
that's
believes
right.
in me.
I like that.
I've never seen like someone on X Factor that can't sing, but their parents
going in there, I can fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Do you agree?
Whatever he said, we'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through wars.
This is what I'm gonna say. I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10 foot. I'm confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. It's not about how he is. I just really like. I've got a good team. I've been through ups and downs. I've stood the test of time. I'm passionate. I'm hungry, and I'm still here, ready to fight my heart out. So I'm confident in that.
Anthony Joshua has delivered a calm but unmistakable warning to Jake Paul, making it clear he enters this matchup not as a celebrity sideshow, but as a proven heavyweight champion backed by years of elite experience at the highest level.
It's not just the punches you see, it's the feinting, it's the distance, it's the, oh my God, I threw that jab. Yeah, the intangibles. It's going to be really interesting to see how he deals with the intangibles in that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said there's a few things that I'm going to do in the ring that he might not have seen before, and I'm going to see how he deals with them.
Yeah.
Always have a lot to say, but both of us have some of the biggest knockouts of the past years in boxing, and we're coming to fight. We made it smaller gloves just now today, so someone's getting put to.
He makes it clear that confidence forged through world-level training, championship battles, and relentless high-pressure environments cannot simply be copied by someone crossing over from entertainment into professional boxing.
I align myself with some of the greatest coaches and greatest fighters in the world because I have that hunger, that desire. Every time I've been knocked down or been in trouble when I was younger, came back 3 years later, got to the Olympics. Get in trouble again before the Olympics, 3 years later, become world champion after 16 fights. Win all the belts, get beat by Ruiz, come back and unify the division for the second time. It's just constantly drives my focus and my hunger to get better. So I'm going to be a tough man to break down 100% come December 19th because I've been building myself over the last year. I ain't been sitting back. I've been working.
Joshua explains his preparation has centered on sharpening fundamentals, tightening combinations, and working closely with top-tier trainers to remove any surprises regardless of what Paul attempts on fight night. In his eyes, this bout is less about hype and more about exposing the clear difference between a developing crossover boxer and a fully established professional. And he expects his performance to make that separation impossible to ignore.
I think it's necessarily fair to AJ. I just know that I have the power and the timing. It's the shots that you don't see coming that knock people out. And I'm a tricky knockout artist that people don't give me enough credit for. I've won knockout of the year. So he has to be careful. And I do have the timing, the speed, and the tricks up my sleeve to be able to hit a shot on this guy that he doesn't see coming that can put him to sleep 1000%.
Continuing the broader concerns echoed by fighters and analysts, Conor McGregor adds his own blunt take, admitting Jake Paul deserves respect simply for stepping toward a challenge of this magnitude. But that respect doesn't remove the danger. McGregor emphasizes boxing is unforgiving, and sharing the ring with a physically dominant heavyweight like Anthony Joshua carries real risk, not just streaming attention.
He's gonna get knocked out by AJ though, isn't he?
If he makes that walk, gotta give him his respect for that. Very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. It's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's you think he's a happy and he's a good kid. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. My opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead. If he does it, I'll give him the...
He describes Joshua as a powerhouse with crushing power and a darker aggressive edge that only true fighters have felt firsthand. From his perspective, very few men can absorb what Joshua delivers when fully locked in. And he openly questions whether this fight should even happen given the potential damage involved. Still, if Jake insists on making that walk, McGregor believes the courage alone deserves recognition, even if the outcome feels brutally inevitable.
I don't want to ask you about a prediction for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua because I think a lot of people know what will happen. But is it dangerous for Jake Paul to be taking on a big heavyweight? You're a heavyweight, man. I wouldn't want to get punched by you here. Is it very dangerous for Jake Paul to be in taking on?
I mean, no matter what it is, it can be an exhibition fight or whatever fight it is. When two guys step over that rope and they got bad intentions or they ready to throw blows, it's always bad. You got to understand that boxing is a dangerous business and the head is not meant to be hit in the first place. Doctors will always tell you the head is not meant to be hit, the body is not meant to be hit, the head is not meant to be, the brain is not meant to be.
Following McGregor's warnings about danger and legitimacy, veteran boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies mirrors that uneasy tone while breaking down what makes Joshua versus Jake Paul such a bizarre yet globally captivating spectacle. Speaking from Dubai, he admits that despite all the promotion, many inside the sport still struggle to believe this matchup is real until both fighters stand under the lights on fight week. Davies respects Jake Paul's willingness to take on the challenge, but underlines the unavoidable reality.
Being a tick in the box and signing the contract straight away. Readily, you cannot see a victory for Jake Paul. I mean, you can't. I do worry about his safety in that. I do know that it wouldn't have been licensed in the UK. Even today, people are throwing conjecture on the fact that Jake Paul hurt his eye. He said it was Lawrence Okoli punched him in sparring and that the fight is off. People are almost looking for a reason for it to be off. I've been there myself in the last couple of weeks as well. I mean, I cannot believe, until I see them in fight week and until we witness it, I won't believe it's truly happening.
Matching a novice boxer with a former unified heavyweight champion is something that would never be approved in stricter regions like the UK. He notes that even promoters appear to be searching for reasons for the fight to collapse, pointing towards speculation around Jake Paul's recent eye injury suffered in sparring. He also reminds everyone this is not merely a circus act. The heavyweight division remains dangerous territory, and every punch carries identical risk regardless of fame or platform. While acknowledging the bout will likely smash records and offer Joshua an extremely straightforward comeback opportunity.
And as I spoke with Nikisa Badarin and Jake Paul at the press conference in Miami a couple of weeks back, if Jake Paul does do it, it'll be the biggest upset in the history of boxing. The biggest shock ever. Maybe one of the biggest upsets in the whole of sport. Some people question whether this really is sport. You know, you can deem it to be circus, you can deem it to be freak show. Spoke to David Hay for an interview in the Telegraph that's going in tomorrow, I think. And he was saying, you know, if he'd been offered this all those years ago and he was in the same position as Anthony Joshua, he said, I wouldn't have even thought about it. I wouldn't have even given it any consideration. It would have been a tick in the box.
Davies stresses the pressure rests entirely on AJ. If the fight stretches beyond a few minutes, critics will question his mindset. And if anything goes disastrously wrong, boxing will be forced to explain why this contest was ever sanctioned. As debate around the legitimacy and danger of Joshua versus Jake Paul intensifies, analyst Wade Plemons pushes the concern further by examining what is unfolding inside Jake's training camp. And the signs are far from reassuring. He points to Jake revealing a visible black eye from recent heavyweight sparring, particularly against Lawrence Okoli, a significantly larger and more seasoned fighter whose jab and left hook closely resemble the threats Anthony Joshua brings.
Like Lawrence Okoli, and especially if it's your right eye, if Jake's getting hit in his right eye, that usually would mean that he's getting jabbed, because that jab in orthodox would come out from the left hand on the right eye side constantly, or got jabbed big time with a one big shot. Or, and this may be even more of a bad thing for Jake Paul, he's gotten hit with a hard left hook, one that he didn't see because it was right on his eye, and it looks like it landed pretty flush, as you can kind of see here. Question is, which one of those two things is happening, and question is, how is it going down? Because what we know about Anthony Joshua is that he has a nasty lead.
Plemons notes that while sparring with physically imposing partners is meant to prepare Jake for real heavyweight pressure, the visible damage suggests he is struggling to evade shots he will unquestionably face on fight night. He explains that at this level, a single clean punch, even in sparring, reveals timing, defense, and vulnerability that can become decisive once the gloves shrink, the lights intensify, and every mistake is punished. Plemons also breaks down Joshua's mentality through press conference footage and training clips, observing that AJ looks laser-focused, already on weight, and driven by relentless pressure. Jake's efforts to frame the size difference as an advantage are met with doubt as Plemons stresses that Joshua's reach, strength, and ring intelligence will place Jake in positions he has never truly experienced before.
This is the worst I've seen Jake look after sparring or at any time during his camps, and maybe there's been times where he's not on camera, but you can tell the levels are higher and the risk is higher and the danger is higher this time around because of how his eye looks. He's probably getting hit harder, getting up worse in sparring than he ever has. Now, he has said that the heavyweights he's sparring, it's actually easier for him and he's not getting hit as much, but that black eye is not the same indication as to what he's saying. So either he's embellishing a bit and this is harder than he thought, or harder than in anything else he's ever done as far as the sparring, the training for this match, or he got caught with something big and that's...
He argues this risk goes far beyond winning or losing. The physical consequences could be severe if Jake cannot handle the pace or power of a former unified heavyweight champion. While he credits Jake's courage and ambition, Plemons insists the gap in elite experience, combined with the limited time Jake has spent learning true heavyweight fundamentals, makes this matchup one of the most dangerous moves of JakePaul's career. Even after acknowledging Jake's courage and ambition, the concerns remain. And that's exactly where former UFC title challenger Darren Till steps into the discussion. Speaking from decades inside combat sports, he explains that while bravery deserves respect, there are levels and realities no one can escape. Till says he has spent over 20 years mastering striking across MMA, Muay Thai, and boxing. And even he wouldn't agree to fight Anthony Joshua under professional rules. From his viewpoint, JakePaul may be chasing history, but the massive gap in size, power, and world-class experience makes this matchup hard to justify as a competitive fight. He warns that without serious behind-the-scenes safeguards, Jake is walking into a situation where his physical safety is genuinely at risk.
JakePaul could get seriously hurt in there, couldn't he?
Yeah, look. Anthony Joshua is one of the biggest, strongest heavyweights out there. I've sparred a few heavyweights who come down the gym. One was being a guy called the War Chief. He was massive. He looked like John Coffey from Green Island. No, he didn't punch me around, but every time he hit me, even when he hit me forward, I was just I just felt like this thunder hit me, and I was like, and that's why we have weight classes. That's why you'd have your lightweight, your welterweight, and from that we can all go up and down a little bit, but we can't make jumps like that. It's just not. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Jake could get fucking killed in there.
So, as we bring this to a close, every voice in the sport, from world champions to MMA veterans to analysts who have witnessed it all, is delivering the same message. This fight is historic, but it's also an enormous gamble. Anthony Joshua brings real heavyweight danger, years of elite preparation, and a mindset that shows no mercy. JakePaul brings ambition, fearless confidence, and a willingness to risk everything for legacy. That's why the world can't look away. Maybe Jake shocks everyone. Or maybe reality lands like a heavyweight right hand. Either way, we're watching a moment that could reshape boxing forever, for better or worse. Now it's your turn. Do you believe JakePaul survives even one clean punch from Anthony Joshua? Or does this entire experiment end the moment a real heavyweight connects? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let the debate explode. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.